Here we go. Chapter 4. I put the blackthorn stick back in the hall stand, peeled the saran wrap off the cookies, and ate one shaped like a Christmas bell. Cookies help me think. So Miss Coriander and Miss Sarah think there's something serious between Mom and Nick. Well, they're wrong, that's all. The jigsaw puzzle Mom and I are working on lay scattered on the big coffee table. When it's finished, it'll be the San Clemente Mission with its low adobe buildings and the gardens where the pigeons strut, fat and sassy. Last night I'd sifted through the pieces forever looking for the one that had the spread of a pigeon's tail. I began looking again, but the photo of Mom kept pushing itself into the front of my brain. The tree lights winked cheerfully on the ceiling, reflected in the dark blankness of the big window. I got up and drew the drapes. There, cozier, safer. I usually don't even bother closing the drapes, but now was different. It was time to go anyway and fix dinner, which I like to do. It's interesting putting things together and coming up with something delicious. It had taken some time for me to convince Mom that I'd be careful if she let me learn to cook, and then we'd had to go through all the possible dangers and what I'd do if they all happened. Nothing had ever happened. Tonight I made meatloaf and cheese muffins from a mix. I was just setting the timer when I heard Mom's car, so I grabbed the cookie plate and met her at the door between the kitchen and the garage. "Hi, honey," she said. Garage. "Hi, honey," she said. "Hi, Miss Sarah sent you these." Mom looked exhausted. I stood aside, and she slipped off her shoes and padded past me to flop in the kitchen chair. "Here." I put the biggest cookie on the plate into her hand. 5 years ago, I'd heard my Aunt Charlie say to Mom, "But how are you going to manage, Caroline, going out to work every day, having Marcus to take care of?" And I'd interrupted. "I'll take care of myself. Nobody needs to worry about me." I was 8 years old at the time. They'd laugh, but I'd meant it, and I would take care of Mom, too. Jarvis's, where Mom works, is the busiest department store in the mall, and the mall is Looney Tunes at Christmas time. Last year, our class went caroling there. Instead of singing Jingle Bells, Robbie and I sang Malls of Beep.
Oh. There's a curse in there?
There's a curse in there. Nobody knew the difference. I think some people even joined in. That's funny.
It's kind of funny.
Mom groaned and put her feet up on an empty chair. "And to think tomorrow night I have to work till 8. Will you be okay, honey?" 8? Sure, I'll be okay. I hadn't meant to say it so loudly, the way you do when you hope someone's going to believe you. Mom fluffed my hair. 8 is kind of late, but Nick will be up in his place if you need him. She had her elbows on the table, holding her favorite mug. "Yeah, sure, Nick. If he's not up there, he's down here," I muttered. Mom gave me one of her questioning looks, but neither of us commented on my comment. Probably because we both knew it was true. Nick's here tonight. Mom acted surprised when he came down, but I don't think she was. Not very. She'd saved the last 4 of Miss Sarah's cookies. "You can take these 2 for your lunch tomorrow, Marcus," she said. The other 2 she put on a plate. Nick got them. He and Mom sat poring over the jigsaw puzzle. "Come help us, Marcus," Mom said. But I didn't want to sit there with Nick. "Nah, I'm watching A Christmas Carol." I sort of watched it, but now and then I'd glance up, keeping an eye on them. Nick's hair gleamed yellow in the lamplight. The hair on his head, the hair on his arms. I must say, Nick is the hairiest person I have ever seen. He's like a big golden bear with his twinkly eyes and great large hands, except he doesn't shamble along like a bear. He's fast like a tiger on its toes. I guess Nick is about the healthiest, fittest guy in the whole world. It's probably why he teaches phys ed. I couldn't help noticing the way Mom had perked up since he'd come down. She really enjoys her jigsaws. "Sure you don't want to help us with this?" she asked again. In a grumpy voice, I said, "I told you already I don't." And Marcus Mullen is not a boy who changes his mind easily, Nick said, smiling across at me. I sat there trying to figure out if there was some hidden meaning in that remark. I often look for hidden meanings in things Nick says. Sometimes he seems to know me pretty well for someone who's just a paying tenant. I think I'll skip the end of the movie and hit the sack, I said, getting up and stretching. Good night. Good night. Later, I listened while Mom locked up. I heard her tiptoe past my door. I almost called her in right then to tell her I was worried about a couple things, but I didn't. No use upsetting her. That's what I said to Robbie the next afternoon. What's the point in upsetting her? It's not as if the key's missing, I said. I just goofed somehow putting it back. You're sure? Robbie asked. Sure, I'm sure. We were on our way to Henry's bike shop to see if my campies had come in. Well, okay then. At Henry's, we headed straight through the front showroom, which was filled with parents and kids picking out bikes for Christmas. The back workroom says, employees only, but it's okay for Robbie and me to go in. Henry knows us because we mess around here so much. The back workroom is great, with tires hanging from the walls, chrome wheels like giant mobiles dangling from the ceiling, and taken apart bikes waiting for help on the work stands. The place smells magical, like our garage at home, only more so. Henry was there himself. Hi, hotshot, he said to me without looking up from the truing wheel. They haven't come in yet. But Henry, I told you, Marcus, I can sell you other pedals, cost you less than the Campagnolas, and your mom won't know the difference. I would know. The bike would know, Henry. That would be like having a racehorse with Clydesdale legs. Henry grinned. Well, you have 4 days yet before Christmas. Keep checking. I will, don't worry. What?
What is a Clydesdale leg?
Robbie and I stopped again outside to poke around in Henry's big green trash can. It's incredible the good stuff Henry junks. It was here that I found the Mozzie frame, all bent and buckled. The frame that was the start of Mom's Christmas present. Are you sure this won't fold on her, Henry? I asked, squinting along the frame with one eye shut. I don't want this bike collapsing, not to mention my mom. Is she planning on riding the marathon? Henry asked. I shook my head. Then it's not going to fall to pieces, he'd said. Bit by bit, I'd found everything I needed for the bike in Henry's trash can. Everything except the campies. Today, the only thing worth taking was a mucky old piece of chain that I thought I could use sometime. I dragged it along the sidewalk behind me, and then Robbie and I tied our legs together and pretended we were on the run from a chain gang. We came to a clanking stop at my driveway. Hi, Patchen, Robbie called across the street, but Patchen didn't even wag his tail. Deaf as a dish, Robbie said, shaking his head. I bent to unhook our chain, and when I straightened, I saw that Robbie was staring at our house. Marcus, he said, you didn't hang that key under the tree again, did you? Why? I began, feeling nervous again. Do you see something, Robbie? I don't see a darn thing, I just wondered. Oh, man, you scared the spit out of me there. I hung the chain across my shoulders and patted the pocket of my jeans. Don't worry, the key's safe in here, and the house is locked up tightly. Nobody could possibly get in. But I was wrong about that.
No.
Yes! But I was wrong. And that's why he's called Cliffhanger.